I'm making some garlic scape pesto today with the scapes we harvested off of our garlic the other day with some very kind helpers. I put them in the fridge because I didn't have the time to get to them immediately, but today is the day, so thought I'd share what I'm doing this year in the scape pesto realm. I did make a sample batch the other day just to try to get a feel for what I wanted to do, and I measured as I went, which is a rarity, just so I could remember what I had done if it worked, and it did work. We ate it on pasta and thought it was really good, so I have an actual recipe to share that of course people can mess around with. Spent a good amount of yesterday cracking out some black walnuts. You could definitely use any nut or seed or none if you have an allergy to nuts, but we had these in the basement, so we need to use them because some of them are starting to mold. So I'm going to toast the nuts first. I just put them in immediately when I turn on the oven, and pretty much by the time the oven's up to the temperature, I just turn it off and let them sit in there. While the nuts are in there, I'm going to start chopping scapes. So I just cut off these tips, and I save these all, and I use them in stock. So I made a soup the other night with a very, very garlic scape rich stock. And then they just need to be, I'm just going to chop them like this, and ultimately they'll go in the food processor. So for my recipe, I used 2 cups to chop scapes, so I guess I'll measure it out so we can make sure that this recipe is valid. In the last video, Sean said I don't really like to make videos, it's a little complex. When I'm actually cooking and talking, I feel fine, but when I'm just standing introducing the videos, staring at the camera, I feel awful. So it's a hard balance. It's definitely not my full comfort zone, but I love to share ideas with people and have that kind of exchange. So I don't know.
It's worth it.
I appreciate people's encouragement. Instead of going to the store and getting lemons for the pesto this year, I wanted to try to use what we have. So last year in October, Sean and I harvested and then I processed sumac. This was a lot more full. I use it really often. It's a wonderful plant that has a great sour flavor, but it's a way more earthy sour than a lemon, which is way more bright, which I feel like I've said this in a video before. So I thought, oh, what could I add to the sumac to give it that lift kind of flavor? And I thought maybe ginger, which some friends around here grew ginger, and we were able to buy a bunch from them last year and freeze it. So I combined the sumac and the ginger for this pesto, and I think it worked out pretty well. In my pesto trial, I used a very heaping tablespoon of the sumac powder. I definitely could have used more, but I was being conservative because I know I won't be harvesting more of this until October, so, and I want to make a bunch of pesto, and I will probably want it for a lot of other stuff, so, but I might make it a little more heaping than the trial, so like that. And then I poured over it a half a cup of boiling water to get the juice, the same way you get lemon juice. So I'm just going to pour that water over the sumac. That's hot. Okay. And then I'll keep a plate on it while I do the rest of the processing, and then I'll pour that juice in towards the end. I have my 2 cups of chopped up scapes. I'm going to put those in the food processor to move them out of the way. And then I added some lemon balm and catnip into the pesto. I thought a lot of years ago I was really into catnip pesto, and I was making a lot of it, and it's a cool flavor. So I thought that I wasn't using lemons. It'd be nice to have some other interesting flavors to detract from the feeling of missing lemons, and I think it does the trick. So I used a cup of just packed leaves of catnip and a cup of packed leaves of lemon balm. They also have the benefit of being very like relaxing herbs, so I thought, oh, it's going to be a relaxing pesto. Although the ginger is kind of maybe more stimulating, but maybe it's a very balanced pesto. So it's a nice thought. These leaves, I don't know, if you made a pesto of only lemon balm or only catnip, I think it'd be pretty intense. Lemon balm also is like a pretty dry herb, so it kind of wouldn't have the consistency you'd maybe want, but as a mix, they're really special. It's my personal feeling. So I wrote that I used 3 tablespoons of fresh or grated ginger. This has been in the freezer. I don't peel it. I don't peel any ginger ever. I just grate it on this like fine thing. We'll imagine this is 3 tablespoons. It's probably more, but I'm gonna use what I did. Okay, and I said I used 3/4 of a cup of toasted black walnuts, so, you know, that's that. I'll put that in, and 1 1/4 teaspoons of salt. This is kind of nice having my own recipe to follow. And then I used a cup of olive oil. Definitely you could eat, you know, substitute everything. Use lemons instead of sumac and ginger, or some combination, or different herbs, or no herbs, or, you know. Well, I don't think I really had to say that. Everyone has their own mind. But, okay. And so now the sumac has been steeping, and I'm going to strain this juice into the pesto. You could just pour it all in, but this little bit of you know, well, there's an old recipe that I really love, a Lebanese recipe for these sumac potatoes, and the method that the woman used was this method for steeping the juice and then straining it, and I like that idea, so I employ it for other things. It's really pretty color. Okay, so that's that, and I'm just gonna drizzle in the oil as it pulses. See how it turned out. Good. There we go.